Hey everyone. Today's topic, dress how you wish to be perceived. This is a piece of life advice that it seems like a lot of people tend to ignore. And while all of us know on some level that the way you dress, the way you present yourself to the world matters, it still seems like very few people actually take that into account and realize the importance of it. Because the way you dress certainly does have an impact on your life overall. For instance, the way you dress to work will impact your ability to get a promotion, and then the way you dress on a date will impact your ability to get a second date and maybe even get a relationship out of it. So, the way you dress matters. Make sure you actually figure out what good advice is for fashion and then follow it. For instance, I know a lot of guys tend to think fashion is like a thing only girls should be concerned with, but seriously, gents, if you up the way that you dress, if you up your game in that regard, it will pay off tremendously. Like I used to be one of those dudes who wore like plain black and white t-shirts in high school. That was like all I wore, black and white t-shirts with jeans. That was kind of it. It's like no style whatsoever. And I didn't stand out. I didn't get noticed by the girls at the time, and it basically did me no favors whatsoever. I also used to wear a lot of like graphic tees for the most part that advertised companies I didn't really care about and stuff like that. I also was not good at matching colors. And then at some point further along in my adult life, I realized the importance of dressing well. And that's when I started caring about matching colors, wearing just overall nicer clothing and stuff that's like maybe a step above casual wear, but not like business casual, because obviously I don't want to look like a worker or a white collar worker everywhere I go. That would be really stupid. But I still want to look better than like the average person. That's why now that it's winter, you see me wearing a lot of Henleys. I like Henleys a lot. They're super comfortable. They allow you to have breathing room for your neck because of the buttons. And if you take a few of the buttons down, it also happens to make you look rather attractive to women. So there are benefits to dressing this way. And also Henleys, just the fact that they're long sleeve, make them slightly dressier than normal shirts. That's just one example. But the real reason I wanted to make this video is because I was thinking about something I'm going to be doing later today, which is traveling publicly. I'm going to be taking a form of public transit. And I didn't quite realize at first, but subconsciously I was dressing knowing that in mind and dressing to convey certain things about myself. Basically, if you look at my pants, I'm wearing some camo ones. There's a reason for that, because I know people perceive men who wear camo a certain way, and if I'm going to take public transit, I don't want people messing with me. I don't want to look like an easy target. And I understand that basically the assumptions people make about camo is usually that the guy wearing it can maybe have a military background, or maybe they know how to defend themselves better, maybe they're just more confident. Basically, camo can kind of convey this is someone you don't want to mess with. I know that, and so that's why I purposely dress in this way whenever I have to take public transit, because I just don't want people messing with me, and if I'm going to an area that's not super safe, I don't want to be an easy target. I already handle most of that by just the way I carry myself. I'm constantly looking around so that way I can spot people who are shady and give them eye contact so they know I'm not afraid of them, which means don't mess with me. But if I can't see someone, if they're behind me or whatever, I want to present myself as much as possible that I'm not an easy target. So that's just one example that the way that you dress matters, because it will affect how people perceive you. So obviously you can even use this not just for looking good on dates and that sort of thing, or looking good at work, but you can also use it to just not be an easy target, to make it so that if you're in a place that's unfamiliar to you, you don't want people thinking you're an easy target. So there you go. There are so many ways that the way we dress matters a lot, because it affects how people perceive us. So make sure you have that in mind, and as much as possible, just aim to look good when you're in situations where your safety isn't a concern. But then in situations where you're not going to be 100% safe, make sure you're also dressing in some way to convey that you're not an easy target. Or at least that's just the way my mind thinks. I'm not a paranoid person by any means, but if I can affect the odds of somebody deciding whether or not to try to rob me, I'm going to, as much as possible, try to put those odds in them not making that decision, because they'll realize it wouldn't be the smartest thing for them to do. So there you go. It's really important that you think about the way you dress and how it affects the way people perceive you. It's just an important part of like human psychology that many people tend to know on like a superficial level, but they don't really take it into account on a daily basis, and especially when it matters. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about in this video. I truly hope you enjoyed this one. If you like content like this, be sure to subscribe for more. Otherwise, the easiest way you can help me out is just to throw a like and a comment on the video for the algorithm, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Arrivederci!